What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Variable. I am Matt McGregor, the hero of time management. And to my right, Zach Lamott, Dr. Luigi. Today we'll be discussing our top picks for 2014. And right off the hop, I want to hear number three. We're gonna do three. So 3, 2, 1, same as last year. So you're gonna give me your number. The last one will be your favorite game of last year.
Right. Okay,
cool. And that's gonna be our format. So and go.
Number 3 this year for me was This War of Mine for PC. I picked it up on Steam. It was a really solid indie game. It was one of the very few games that the biggest enemy was depression.
Yeah.
Which sounds super messed up and doesn't make a lot of sense. It sounds kind of funny.
Well, you're the one that showed me this game too, right? So, and it does sound strange off the hop, but yeah, you're 100% right. It is one of your biggest enemies. Very cool setting.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, kind of like Last of Us-esque in terms of atmosphere, that dark thing, but it takes place during a war, but you play civilians that are coping with everyday life. So I thought that was an interesting experience.
Agreed. After you showed it to me, I was very, very impressed. I'd like to check that one a little bit more. I just got my hands on it just the one time, and I had a really good time. Very, very like The Sims, but it's a
2D thing.
But it's very, very, it's different than Sims. It's really hard to explain. So definitely check that one out. My number 3, I'm looking at Child of Light. So Ubisoft's RPG, very, very in the vein of an old like JRPG. Except it's more of like a storybook, so it's like a 2D side scroller with some like turn-based combat. The story was definitely very interesting, but it was the art style that really, really jumped out at me. And I hadn't played a really good, solid RPG yet this year. There was like South Park, but this was a little bit more traditional in that sense, and I really, really liked it. So you have it now on PS4, PS3, and then you can do it on Vita as well. So I played it on PS3, but I also have it for Vita as well. So that would be my number 3 pick.
Yeah, the game looks awesome. I didn't get to play it at all, but it looked amazing. You showed me a trailer.
And I kept showing. I sent you some emails.
On repeat.
Wrap it
up. One more time from the top.
Your mailbox is full of garbage.
You filled up my tape with audio from Child of Light again.
Your tape. Jesus.
Still using tape.
Zach, number 2.
My cellular device. My number 2 was the Company of Heroes, again another PC game, Company of Heroes 2, The Western Front Armies, which
PC
was
Master Race.
Yes, it was another game I picked up on Steam. This one's an RTS, a real-time strategy. I'm a big fan of real-time strategies. I actually just got into PC gaming this year. That's why 2 of my 3 are PC. But this one's World War II. I'm a huge World War II fan. I wouldn't recommend this to people who don't like World War II because you really got to know the gear and sort of the military strategy from that era. It was the U.S. campaign that was part of the expansion. It was a standalone thing on Steam. If you're into that sort of stuff, pick it up. It's amazing.
Cool.
I had a blast with it playing it online, and you just kind of get online and skirmish. But yeah,
sure,
really great time.
My number 2 pick would be The Wolf Among Us. So Telltale's episodic game for this year. So they had Walking Dead Season 2 and The Wolf Among Us. So for me, it was I went with The Wolf Among Us because I'd already done The Walking Dead Season 1. That game was awesome, but it doesn't have that allure to me that number 1 did, because it doesn't have that, not that shock value, but something that's so new, right? And I have not been in the world of fables, and as a big comic fan, it really drew me in and allowed me to experience that world where now I'm really interested in the Fables comics.
So good.
Yeah, so I really, really enjoyed like the episodes 1, 2, 3, and 5 are awesome. I really, really highly recommend everyone check it out, especially play the whole thing, but episode 5 will knock your socks off. Drop those panties, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I played like half of the first episode and I was floored. I wanted to wait until I was alone because I had played it with my friend Terry Bull. And
Pterodactyl.
And he was just like, as if you picked that. I was like, okay, this is the last fucking thing I want right now.
Terry will remember this.
But yeah, it looked phenomenal. The writing was just like the dialogue. I didn't even understand what was going on for a while. I finally got that it was like all these Disney references and shit like that. But obviously like a darker side of it and a more like a modernization of, what did I say?
Disney.
Disney Tales.
Well, there's whatever.
Same fucking Beauty and the Beast. Like, don't tell me that Disney did not do Beauty and the Beast to a perfection.
That bell.
Were a strange time.
That bell. Yeah. So I'm gonna pass her back to you for your number one pick of the year.
Yeah, I kind of fucked this up, but my number one pick is just to differentiate it from yours as well. Is The Walking Dead Season 2, another Telltale.
Very good choice.
I couldn't stop playing it. Like I couldn't. I think I beat it in 2 sittings, which is
my
stupid.
number one question for you. Do you still get a platinum trophy for just beating the game?
I played it on Steam.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
PC Master Race. Did you update your drivers before you played it?
Nope.
Oh good, because I'm sure it ran like hell.
It ran awesome.
No, that's awesome.
And I got to use my Xbox controller too, because I was used to it. I played. Actually, you know what the shitty thing was? I had to redo the first season because different platforms. I couldn't afford it on there, but it was on sale on Steam.
Right.
So
just to transfer like your character and your decisions over.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh no way.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
That's interesting.
But I tried to make like all the same decisions, and it ended the same. So I was really happy. But
the way I've always heard it described is these games that Telltale makes, they're the same story is always going to play out, right? So you get like a coloring book, and you're going to get that same image, but it's the way you color the coloring book that makes it a little bit different and unique for yourself.
Right.
Okay, so
absolutely, it's like a series that directly involves you. It's like if you watch the AMC's Walking Dead and stuff like that, and sometimes you're watching like, oh, if I were in that situation, I would do things different. Well, play the Walking Dead Telltale games, and that's exactly what it's like. And then you get to suffer the consequences. Like there's so many times where I made like the wrong call, and then like you kind of and then you watch the shows, or any other situation like that in a film or whatever, and you think like, yeah, you kind of got to do that because here's what happens when you don't get demand respect from these types of people or what have you. But
no, it's a very, very good pick for the year. My number one pick, it's going to be a little strange, I think, for some people watching, but it's Mario Kart 8. The game floored me. The Canadian edition, the Fonz edition. It took me back where like it was just a game that was about gameplay and having fun, right? So I hadn't really been on board for the last Mario Karts for the last little while. Like the Mario Kart Wii one, I think I played a little bit, but it kind of passed over. This one made me get the Wii U. So this year I purchased the Wii U for that game, and it did not disappoint. So myself and my girlfriend were playing like every single night, unlocking characters, and we just bought the DLC, which we want to have a little bit more of an in-depth look at. But it has
what did that have?
It has 2 new cups and 3 new characters. So you get Link as a character for like a rider, Tanuki Mario, Cat Peach, and then you get the Triforce Cup, and you get some other weird cup. But they're cool. They're really, really cool. Like DLC, it's cool to see Nintendo doing DLC. So I think that's why it's my number one pick. It was just I had so much fun with it. It was very familiar, but like I said, that's the game I found myself going back to, whether it be like when it first came out in May, and playing out throughout the whole summer, and then coming back into it when the DLC came out in November, and I just had a great time with it. So that's gonna be my number one pick for 2014 is Mario Kart 8.
Yeah, both Matt and I both talked about how the DLC for Last of Us would be Left Behind would be in our top 3. We didn't put it in because we already did a podcast on it, like in full. It was dedicated to the episode. So
don't forget to check that out.
Don't forget to check it out. But yeah, fucking great game. It came out in 2014. Yeah. Definitely a top pick. We wanted to touch on the other ones, but yeah, absolutely.
That would be my top pick.
Yeah,
if it was a standalone package and it wasn't a DLC, that'd be like my number one pick. Absolutely. That game floored me again. I think the Left Behind DLC of The Last of Us was again phenomenal, and to lead in. This year they re-released The Last of Us in the remastered form.
That's right.
Yeah. I'm kind of getting a little burnt out on re-releases. Like they seem to they're really re-releasing games that are very new still. Like they're re-releasing Tomb Raider and Sleeping Dogs.
Right.
They're re-releasing
new gen
Fighter.
console. It makes sense.
Yeah, it's cool to to have it out there for more people to play and stuff. But I feel like that's getting a little bit much. They used to be really special, right? Like when like the God of War collection came out in HD, and I was like, oh, that's awesome.
Silent Hill HD.
Yeah, and I'm like, that's awesome.
Metal Gear.
Exactly, Metal Gear ones are awesome. It's like $40 for 3 games. That's like up-res. I'm like, yeah, 100% bring it on.
Right.
But now I feel like it's too soon, like for some of these games to come out. But the 2 big ones from this year were The Last of Us and Grand Theft Auto 5, and both were very worthy of a re-release, I think, especially for people jumping on a PS4 from Xbox or something.
Right.
And with Grand Theft Auto, they added a lot of new content to it, despite, like with the first-person mode and up-resing everything, as well as with the heists coming in. Right. I think that's going to be really, really cool, which we're going to, I think, have a look at when they release the heists later this year. Yeah.
I'm a little bit biased for Last of Us just because it's my all-time favorite game. It's definitely in like my top 2, and it gives me another excuse to beat it over and over again. The biggest thing I found off the hop was the frame rate was, it was like hyper smooth. It almost looked kind of nauseating.
Yeah,
it's like how fucking smooth
it's jarring at first.
Yeah. But Grand Theft Auto 5, I gotta hand it to them for how much work they did. Like Matt said, they implemented the first-person stuff. I found there was so many more atmospherical elements. They put a ton more game objects in to kind of bring the cities to life and the atmosphere. Like even in the desert, there's like all kinds of grass, trees, wildlife happening in the ocean.
There's kitty cats running around the street now.
There is, yeah.
I haven't played, I have it, but I haven't jumped into it yet. But that's my biggest selling point is now there's cats running around the city.
Oh man, I've spent a lot of time in the ocean. My favorite from that, actually, I'll probably fucking load this on while we're talking right now, is I saved a clip of my girlfriend playing.
I'm gonna swipe it in. So like when I do this, you're gonna, and I want this part in it of me describing. I'm gonna do it.
Okay,
go. And then I'm gonna go.
Alright, so she was driving, and I was like doing something, and then with whatever. I was like, here, I want you to do this. So she was driving down this thing, and she's like, oh my god, look at this deer. And she didn't see it. She like spun off into the woods, and then she came back on the road. She couldn't find it, and then she was going down, and she's like, oh, there it is. And then she's like, I wonder if I could hit it. So like even the sound of like her just like stomping on the gas and then like hammering this, and then you see the caribou die, and then this pig come out of nowhere, and then this like violent crash. It was just so funny. And then another one was when I got her to do this scuba mission for me, and like poor girl, like I don't know why I do these things to her, but like there's a shark around, and then like as soon as like I'm deathly afraid of sharks, but she's like, she's been swimming in the ocean and shit like I can never do, and so when she got eaten by the shark, I like let out this like fucking shriek. And then she got really mad at me.
And she was really quiet. She's like, "Come on, man, keep it together."
No, she screamed louder because of my fear, wussiness with sharks. But yeah, fuck, they're scary.
Well put. There's also another area we wanted to look at, just a touch upon for 2014. That's kind of the rise of the indie game scene, which is really, really cool. It's really great to do because games are getting really, really expensive to make, and we're not seeing as many like AAA titles as quickly, right? It's we get them every little while. And it's nice to have these indie games kind of in between to fill like the gaps, right?
So absolutely.
And I know like you had we actually been playing a game on PC. You've actually got me to play a PC game, which is pretty freaky for me.
Right. 7 Days to Die.
Yeah, so maybe we should touch on that just a little bit before.
By the Fun Pimps. Our good friends, the Fun Pimps.
I was trying to think of it so hard.
Yeah, definitely. This one's...
How did I forget that?
This one's a survival, sandbox game that deals with zombies. It's like your classic, like if you were a person, like any normal dude, like, I want to make a game that's got like zombies and it's got survival and you could like build everything, and they did it with this small company, and it's fun as fuck. Like you go around and you could craft whatever, and you could build like but I mean it's also hilarious. Like it's like an experience. That the way I see it is like when I'm playing, like I've been playing a lot with my brother online, and he lives in North Bay right now. He's in school, so we don't get to hang out, but like the way I see it is like when we're in that game, we're like hanging out. Like like at one point we built this hot tub, and then, like you don't actually build the hot tub, right? But like I made this like cobblestone or whatever, and then and we were both like each like, you know, contributing like, oh, what if we get like a bucket of water and we'll put it in and it'll be a hot tub and like all this other shit, and it got out of control really fast. But then I was thinking this like while I was doing like the finishing touches, I was like, I even said this over my mic. I was like, dude, we should like take off all of our armor and we'll be in like our, you know, in our bathing suits and we'll jump in and it'll be hilarious. And as I was saying that, I like turn around and he's like on the stairs with that beer in a mason jar, and he's like fucking no clothes or armor. Oh my god, he was like 2 steps ahead of me. And then we took all these stupid photos of like us in the hot tub. It was so fucked. Here they go. But yeah, so to me it's just like, it's more or less like and like we could do some killing, like we could go out and explore and kill all kinds of, like if we ever get bored or we're just like, you know, whatever. So like to me those kinds of sandbox games could be really cool. Like I'm not a huge fan of the Minecrafts and stuff like that, but this game just had something special about it, and it is just like this, you know, the combination of this intense survival where you worry about food and water and shelter and all this stuff, and the zombies get fast and scary at night.
Diarrhea. Gotta worry about the diarrhea.
Yeah, so the first time Matt and I played it, like I was like, okay, like don't eat anything raw, don't drink any dirty water, you gotta boil it. And he's like, oh cool, that's really cool. And so he's out in the river and he's like, I think I just drank some of the water.
I was trying to scoop it.
And so like I got this awesome photo of him. Awesome photo of him when we were making his diarrhea tea, and he was just like almost like, it looked in the photo like he was zoned out into it, like he was trying to figure out what I was doing. He's like, so what do you do? You just go to the campfire and you boil the tea leaves. I was like, yeah, man, but really,
I like how we're sitting around the campfire talking.
Right, yeah,
that's like one of my favorite parts.
Yeah, we were outside by the blueberry patch, like discussing the world issues,
and it's so loud. Dude, man, like. Cinema.
But that's in alpha right now.
Yeah, so
we were both really impressed.
So we're gonna keep playing 7 Days to Die, and we're gonna like follow it as it goes from alpha to beta, and then we're going to continue to follow that. But at the same time, we're gonna, I think, review that one probably when it comes out of alpha and moves into beta. I think we're gonna kind of have our first overall opinion of the game, and then go from there. So there's one more game you wanted to mention before we. And it was like it was still the same.
Oh, Shovel Knight as well. So Shovel Knight is another cool release. This one, actually, embarrassingly enough, I really don't even want to talk about this, but I told Matt that I stopped playing it because I couldn't like, I got really frustrated with there's levels that get really hard, and when like I was dying and I would have to start from the beginning, but then Matt informed me that as long as you don't destroy the checkpoints, which I was certainly doing, that you get to die and start. So I would like picture making it to the fucking boss and then dying and then restarting from the top. Like I was just really mad.
Yacht Club Games is that one. It just came to me.
There you go. Yes, that's correct. But fucking really cool soundtrack. They did a really thoughtful soundtrack, very true to like the pixel art stuff. It made me really happy. The dialogue was really well written. Like it's something you kind of wanted to see when you were a kid and playing. You know, like
it's like the NES game that never got made.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah. But like, oh man, like when you're in the town and like there's so many really,
it's so like Zelda 2, right? Like where it's like
it's a side-scrolling platform. Like and you're a shovel knight, so you're this knight that uses a shovel. Yeah, exactly, as like a primary weapon and sort of like as a tool. And there's this one lady, like she was like all sexy or whatever, and I was going through this town, and she's like, a lot of people would probably laugh at you for using a shovel as a tool, but between you and me, I dig it. I was like, no,
the puns,
the puns, so many puns, and just you could tell they're a really thoughtful group of individuals making games, and
awesome.
I thought I'd definitely give them a shout out.
100%. So those were our top picks for 2014. It was a really, really solid year for the first real full year for the next gen consoles, which is now current gen, which we'll I think refer to in 2015.
Right.
So again, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share. Again, positive, negative feedback is welcomed. Thank you for watching this variable video, and we'll see you on the field.